Welcome to Business Birdies, where we talk shop with business leaders off the clock while playing a little bit of golf. I love golf. Today we're at Gettysburg National Golf Club in Fairfield, Pennsylvania. This course is nestled in the Catoctin Mountains, very close to some historic battlefields in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. In fact, the clubhouse you see behind me was once a hospital during the Civil War. This course features a unique front and back nine, very different from one another, and poses challenges for both the novice golfer and advanced. Today, our guest is Dr. Trevor Maples of Yellow Springs Dental in Frederick, Maryland. Dr. Trevor, thanks for coming out.
Of course, thanks for having me.
So, tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you want to become a dentist? How did you end up in Frederick? That kind of thing.
Sure. So I'd always thought healthcare was interesting. Was trying to just find a way I could apply that. I ended up choosing dentistry because I was talking to my dentist at the time when I was in college and told him I was interested in something related to science or healthcare, something maybe related to business, and then something related to art. And I kind of viewed them as three separate paths. And my dentist at the time said, you should consider dentistry because you can get parts of all of that. So I was like, that's interesting. Looked into it more, ended up liking it a lot, and then ended up here. I've worked in Frederick as a dentist for about 4 years now at Yellow Springs, and then been a owner at the practice for the past year or so.
Excellent. So yeah, I mean, what your dentist told you has come true. It's business, it's dentistry, it's art all in one, right?
Yep. So
you ready to get out there, play a little golf, see how your game's going?
let's do it. Let's play.
All right. Trevor, so first things first, are you a lifelong Marylander?
I am. I grew up in Gettysburg, Maryland, went to undergrad in College Park, dental school in Baltimore, and then I've worked a couple places after school. I was in Western Maryland in Frostburg first, in Rockville for a while, then ended up in Frederick, and that's where I plan to be for a while. So.
Gotcha. Trevor, you mentioned before that you're joining an existing practice. So what made you want to do that as opposed to, let's say, starting from scratch and doing a grassroots buildup of a practice?
Yeah, so I got lucky to find the practice I ended up working at and then buying it. Rick Rogers had owned it and worked there for 30 years. So I just thought it was really nice to have a place that already had a good reputation, was known for providing good care, was connected in the community. So I was lucky to find it, but I just thought that was nicer than having to build it all from the start. Can't go 30 years ago and do it the same way. So
Gotcha.
Yep.
Very cool. And you met him, how did you meet the doctor that you're working with?
Yeah, it's actually a funny story. We met because my wife, who's also a dentist, her name's Rebecca Rogers. We were looking for jobs in Frederick, and she found Yellow Springs Dental, and Dr. Richard Rogers' name caught her eye because they have the same last name but no relation. Ended up taking a different job herself, but when I was looking for a job, said that you should check out this office, it seems good. So we met and it went from there. So just happen to have the same last name.
Isn't that funny how that works sometimes? And I get that quite a bit too. I get the name Cook, it's pretty common. So
right.
Lots of cooks out there. Dr. Trevor, so what's been something that when you're getting into an existing practice, I'm sure you want to put your own stamp on it a little bit.
Sure.
And what's something that you've done to kind of put your stamp on Yellow Springs Dental?
So on a day-to-day with the practice, a lot of like the systems in place and how people were treated and the staff I liked a lot. So honestly, from that perspective, I've tried not to change much because it's mostly already how I want it. I did recently change the logo, which I thought was kind of a fun way to put my stamp on it. So I've been trying to do some stuff with just getting that out there. But as far as the day-to-day, it's really been pretty much the same, which is nice.
So it sounds like the core values that Dr. Rogers had is kind of the same as what you're going after, and therefore it was a nice fit for you to join.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's nice that I feel like we could both see a patient and treat them similarly, or view things the same way, or have a certain standard of how we feel patients should be treated. It's been nice, really.
That's excellent. I mean, customer care, number one, right? Absolutely.
Right.
Almost in any industry, that goes for anything, but dentistry especially.
Right.
Talk to me about something that's been like a little bit of a struggle with the transition of going into a new practice.
The biggest challenge for me probably has been just getting used to like admin tasks that need done, and one, organizing for them, but two, just learning how to like delegate things. My instinct is just be like, this is easy, I can do it, but when there's so many things, it just adds up. So just trying to make sure I have enough free time, plus just trusting staff to be able to do everything.
So for people out there maybe who are struggling with delegation, like what's some piece of advice you can give them on how you were able to overcome that?
Right. I mean, so I'm definitely still working on it, but
Sure.
I feel like everything I've delegated, I haven't regretted any of it. In fact, almost all of them, I'm like, I should have done this earlier. So for me at least, the more I've done it, the easier it becomes. It's more easy to trust someone. Or just realizing how nice it is to free up your free time. Because I have a 2-year-old and wife at home, work. It's like I can do admin on the evenings and the weekends, but I don't think that's a long-term plan. So just freeing up your free time.
So really, it's just one of those situations where you just gotta cut to it and let it happen and learn the lessons that go right and wrong and just keep going from there.
Right. Even if it doesn't go the way you plan, just keep at it. So.
Good advice.
I'm working on.
I like it. Trevor, being a dentist, I need to know, tell me a funny or your best story about laughing gas.
The funniest laughing gas story is probably in dental school when we were learning how to administer the nitrous or laughing gas. So they pair us up in groups of like 4 students, and normally when you're using nitrous, it's like 30% nitrous, 70% oxygen. That's like, but you can turn it up as high as 70% nitrous, and they asked us to do that in class just to have a sense of like what it felt like. So it's really supposed to be something that's relaxing, but when you turn up that high, it's like much more akin to being drunk or something like that. So we're sitting there and doing it, and it's cranked up, and the room is quiet, and I can hear music, and I'm like, asked my friends like, who's playing music, and they were like, none of us. So I was like, that was crazy. I can't think of a funny patient story, so it's probably that.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty cool though. Like the beats just started in your head.
Yeah, I'm like, man, this is nuts.
It's like, you know, you were like Mozart for a minute. Mozart always said, oh, the music's there, I'm just grabbing it out of the sky. Fairway Facts, coffee helps me play better. I also saw that you were very impressed with something that I grew up with that I still listen to this day.
Okay.
Was Alice in Chains Unplugged.
Yep.
What do you love about that show?
I mean, Unplugged is just awesome because I think the live versions are so good. I've always liked Alice in Chains a lot too. I think Lane Staley is awesome.
Yeah. Great.
That specific one is crazy too because I think it's really just like a couple weeks before he passed away.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's just like a real emotional performance.
Yeah.
It's just impressive.
With all this sugar, one of us is going to need a dentist. What are you doing for fun?
So right now it feels like not much, just haven't got started, but spending most of my free time with my family. So wife Rebecca and son Harrison. When I'm able to do hobbies, I like working out, playing video games, and I'm just now trying to get into golf. But I'm trying to free up my free time to be able to do it more.
Gotcha. So I was having a very similar conversation the other day where we're kind of getting to that generation coming up now that we grew up on video games, right? So I grew up on them, you grew up on them. It's going to be interesting when we get older for sure, what that looks like. But
Right.
what you play a lot of games, what's your favorite genre of game or favorite game that you've played?
I like a bunch of type of games. I guess what I've had most fun with is shooters like Halo or Call of Duty, just because it's a excuse to play with friends. Like if you get a group going, just guys that has an excuse to talk to that I might not have talked to otherwise since like college.
Yeah.
I used to also like harder, kind of more like Dark Souls type of games, but I feel like after having a kid, I don't want to play a challenging game in my free time. I'm like, I want to do something easy. Yeah,
right. I think as we get older and for various reasons, free time becomes a luxury. It's kind of like you want to have a game that's easy to go and it's not going to take you hours upon end to figure out one challenge. I totally get that now.
Right. Yeah, I
for
got
sure.
many challenges already. I don't want to.
Yeah. Bunker shot, about 135 out. I'm going to club up and just try to get a nice shot out of here. Fairway Facts. Not only does coffee help me play golf better, it also helps me life better. It is bogey day on Business Birdies today. You've got online friends while you're playing the games and stuff like that, and I think that's very true a lot these days with video games and people having those interactions with these online games. But outside of that, do you get together with your friends regularly, and what kind of activities you doing there?
Yeah, so I'm lucky that I have a pretty close group of friends that we've known since we were all kids. We honestly talk almost daily in like group chats, like fantasy football group chats and about anything. A bunch of them are still local, which is nice. We do get to hang out in person every so often. But a bunch of people after college moved all over the country, so we'll still get together when we can, but we talk so often, it's like we might not have seen each other in a year, and it's like, I feel like I just saw you. So.
Yeah. Sad business, birdie.
Oh.
Tell me about, I think I saw on one of your Instagram posts, tell me about your crab chips. I mean, are they the best thing ever because of the Old Bay, or what's the deal?
I definitely am a huge fan of Old Bay. I feel like just classic Maryland Pride deal.
Yeah.
So definitely like crab chips. Utz is my go-to brand, so
Yeah.
shout out to Utz.
There you go.
But yeah, I love a good crab chip.
I mean, being a Marylander, I think you got to have Old Bay on everything, right?
Right.
Yeah. We're getting ready to get to the end here, mentally tough. So I need to know the mentality of when the question is asked, what thing would you eat 48 times in a row? And you say rice? Why rice?
I just feel like I just knew that I could eat that many, and I can't think of anything else that I could eat 48 of without puking, so.
Are we talking about 48 little things of rice, or are we talking about 48 servings of rice in a row?
So I interpret it as 48 grains of rice.
48 grains of rice.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
I was like, I can't Kobayashi it with the hot dogs or anything like that, so.
So you mentally kind of worked your way around that question.
Right.
I gotcha. Good for you. Trevor, as a dentist, I'm sure you have to deal with a lot of chipped teeth. So today's cookout challenge is going to be a chip off.
Okay.
Closest to the hole. And the winner will get a nice golf towel from Metro. Thank you, Metro. Courtesy of Mythology Golf, MG. Check them out. We'll get the towel. I actually wore a shirt to match. Let's see who can get it closest.
Sounds good.
All right, there's a window open. Ooh. It's gonna be close. Let's go check it. Well, Trevor, I have to say that I believe you are the Cookout Challenge winner.
I appreciate it, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Mythology Golf. Gettysburg National features an indoor-outdoor patio with TVs and NFL Sunday Ticket. It's a great spot to get around to golf and watch your favorite team in the fall. All right, Trevor, so as we close things out, anything else that you want to let everybody know out there about Yellow Springs Dental or anything like that?
So we're right near Fort Detrick, off of Rosemont Ave, accepting new patients. We'd be happy to see you. We do all kinds of dental work, so almost anything you need we can help with, or if we can't, we can help find you someone who can. So we would love to see anyone, so give us a call.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for coming out.
Yeah.
Really appreciate having you. Yeah, maybe we'll see you again sometime.
Okay.
All right, well, that's it for Business Birdies from Gettysburg National. Until we see you next time, hit them straight.